I do not think I could run the Fed as well as Jay Powell's run. I think Jay Powell has been a terrific.
And crypto presents an opportunity to build wealth by those who have found themselves historically shut out. However, these same groups are less likely to have the financial resources to absorb losses. Declining digital asset prices could mean significantly more severe losses for lower income investors, with knock-on effects penetrating the greater economy.
Okay, with Ether, when it went from this proof of work consensus mechanism to proof of stake, there was a utility essentially that was built into Ether and that you could earn yield by staking your coins with the network. So did that change, at least definitionally speaking, the way that you think about that token?
So let's start off with Ether is for sure a commodity, right? Because again, almost everything's a commodity, and we have Ether futures that are trading on CFTC registered exchanges. It's up to the SEC to determine whether they view Ether as security. But I'm going to tell you, that's going to be based on the facts and circumstances. What is it used for? So it's funny, the morning of the merge, well, the merge happened at like 4 in the morning, right?
Yeah, I was up.
You were up. I was going to ask if you were up. So at 8 in the morning, I was speaking at an event. The first question I asked was, who stayed up all night and do you need more coffee? But the next thing that was the first question I was asked, does this now change it? And I said, no, it doesn't change it. It's still a commodity. But I think the SEC is going to have to look at, each facts and circumstances, in particular how it's used. It's really hard to just say, with the exception of Bitcoin at this point, for the SEC to kind of declare something as a security without looking at the facts and circumstances. But I don't work at the SEC. My job is to work at the CFTC and say whether it's a commodity. For sure, it's a commodity.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have the CFTC says that crypto gives the people more opportunity. And Ethereum is definitely a commodity. And guys, the movie is heating up. The debt ceiling is heating up and they taking it to the wire. And we know this is for a bigger distraction down the road. And we have the White House coming out and saying the MAGA Republicans are going to be defaulting on America. And they come out with Default on America Act. Guys, this is unbelievable. You're watching a real life movie. And we also see the movie turning up on Biden and his son, Hunter Biden. Guys, you're talking about some very interesting times coming on this back half. And don't forget, next year, they're going to be campaigning for president. And guys, we know we already seen the last president of the United States. Now it's all about the fourth industrial revolution and bringing in this digital global economy. And that's the reason why we see these banks crumbling. We know the Fed caused it all when they started printing all this money, and now they're raising rates. And we know they're going to pause and keep these rates high for longer. Will they cut at the end of the year with all the distractions that they're throwing at us, guys? Most likely they are going to cut at the end of the year, the fourth quarter, because we already seen the United States economy crumble. And we know the solution, guys. In the mainstream media, CNBC, all the mainstream media, we have AI taking over. Every single day, they're pushing the AI agenda. And when we look at Sam Altman, the CEO of Airbnb, guys, if you pull articles, you can go back before 2017. I put a couple articles here just to see. This was before the C word. So this agenda was already being played out. But unfortunately, we have the masses asleep. And by the time they wake up, the machines will be here. The robots, algorithms, and drones taking the economy over, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
John, I've got a question about House Oversight Committee subpoena that was issued yesterday. It's seeking an FBI document from 2020 that, quote, describes an alleged criminal scheme involving then Vice President Biden and a foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. What's the White House's response to this serious corruption allegation?
I'm going to have to refer you to the Justice Department on that. I have nothing for you on that today.
No, do you know what country this pertains to, or what policy decision?
I have nothing for you, sir. I'm going to have to refer you to the Justice Department, and I'm getting the hook. See ya.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Trying to move quickly. Our next guest is OMB Director Shalonda Young, who is here to discuss how Speaker McCarthy's Default on America Act would slash programs that families rely on. Before I kick it over to Shalonda, I wanted to note new analysis from Council of Economic Advisors, which confirmed with real-time data that we are already seeing significant market stress from default threats. CEA's analysis showed even getting close to default could be incredibly damaging to financial markets and cause serious economic harm to American workers and businesses. Brinkmanship would cost hundreds of thousands of jobs and slow the economy. An actual default would be even more severe, with the economy losing 8 million jobs. If the default were to last 3 months, 8 million jobs for 3 months, if it were to last for 3 months. There's a broad consensus among economists that default would create an entirely avoidable economic catastrophe. That's what's at stake here. That is what is at stake. That's what the president's been talking about. That's what we've been trying to make very clear for the American people what's ahead. If this were to be allowed by House Republican, with that, I will turn it over to Shalonda Young to discuss House Republicans' Default on America Act in more detail.
We got to solve the debt crisis. Here I still am. I believe we'll have more mayhem like we saw the last time this happened in 2011, where the real issue is whether the rating agencies downgrade the U.S. debt, not what's happening at the Congress. Now, I don't want it to go that far, but you need to keep some cash on the sidelines. When we rally, if we do rally on the last three things that I'm talking about, you can do some selling so you get ready for the debt crisis. What has to happen here? First, stop listening to the experts who say we shouldn't worry about not getting a deal, like the Democrats and Republicans who come on TV all the time and try to reassure us when they're really out to get us. That's the same nonsense we heard in 2011. They were out to get us. They lied through their teeth. They got away with it. They're pals. The averages dropped 19%, though, and you got hurt. Even if there's a deal, I don't expect it to come to the 11th hour, like last time. But if that happens, the market may have already fallen a bit from this point. So why not wait to do some buying? Well, if we clear tomorrow's labor hurdle, then the market will rally. However, it will only be a tradable run because there's enough lunatics in Congress to ensure that the debt ceiling negotiations go down to the wire. We get another debt downgrade by the S&P, and that's going to cause pain. If we do rally short term, I recommend taking some profits and then stealing yourself for the debt ceiling fiasco, and then you can buy more. That's exactly what we're doing for the charitable trust. Why don't you join the club and find out rather than having me blather on about it? In the end, though, we need the FDIC to actually do something, stop the bank crisis. That's the game changer. If that happens, the market can go higher, at least until we get to the worst phase of the debt ceiling. I want the FDIC to act this evening. They don't understand stocks. I do. They should wake up, or they know nothing. Bottom line, once we jump the debt ceiling hurdle, I'm feeling much more optimistic about the market. Hey, by the way, I even saw an IPO window reopen. That's right, successful spin-off of Kenvue, J&J's consumer business. We just need to make it through the gauntlet. It will happen. Gather some money if the market gets higher, and then get ready to buy it back when the politicians make sure that they take every one of all of your money if you don't play this one right. We'll get through this. We have for 19 years. We're going to get through this one together.
All right, well, let's start with the big picture, which is $1 trillion came out of the regional banking system, right? Went into money funds, went into treasuries, and went into the big four, right? $1 trillion, you know what that is? That's putting your hand on the neck of the lenders. Right, they're all lending less. I think that's 100 basis point equivalent to 100 basis point interest rate hike. So of course the Fed's done. Of course they're done. They're not pausing. They are done because we're actually 100 basis points higher. It's not a rate hike, right? You hike rates so that I'll borrow less. You'll borrow less.
Are we 100 points too high?
I think we're 50 basis points high. Too high. Higher than they thought they would be. Now,
why did they still raise then, Howard? Why did they
that was just showing off. You know, I said I would. I'll do the least I can. I take out the words that say I'm going to cut and, you know, I'm going to raise any more.
You don't think it's a big mistake? You don't think it's a big mistake that backfires and they have to cut?
They would they're not going to cut so fast. You know, this concept, the market's already saying.
If it hits the fan, they might.
The market says 3 cuts this year. 3 cuts this year. Really? You think they raised yesterday and they're going to cut this year? Here's my call. Stays the same. Remember, if the money's come out of the banking system, raising rates doesn't change it as much, cutting rates doesn't change as much. They're just going to stay steady Eddie. I think the Treasury market is too low, right? I think the dollar is too high.
You mean the yields are too low in the Treasury?
Yeah, come on. What do you think? The 2-year note is calling for like 6 cuts. Come on, they're not going to cut. Imagine these are central bankers or, oh, this is like this, right? You think they're saying, oh, sorry, I was wrong?
At the White House of these AI executives meeting with administration officials. Here's Sam Altman of OpenAI a few moments ago.
CNBC here. What are you looking forward to today?
I am excited to have a discussion. I think this is really important, and it's a good time for it.
Hey, are you? Do you think the White House?
I am super late.
Okay, understood. Is the White House moving quickly enough, though, on regulation? Do you think?
Hard to say before the meeting, but I think they were like really seriously engaged and want to get to the right place on this.
How concerned are you about AI?
I think we can manage this for sure. I think we need to take it seriously. I think now is a great time to be doing this. It's good to try to get ahead of this. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but it's one I'm sure we can handle.
What's your pitch to the administration today?
We'll figure it out in the meeting.
Talking about ChatGPT and AI and the future of that. Expedia has announced a plan to effectively use an API to access ChatGPT so people can ask questions and the like. How do you see this changing your business, and how are you using it?
This is going to change all of society. I mean, this is going to be probably bigger than the internet. It's somewhere between the internet and the Industrial Revolution, which, I mean, imagine just what the internet did. It's going to be profound. So I can imagine short-term, long-term. Short-term, it's going to change us 3 ways. Number 1, it's going to make everyone more productive. I think that engineers will be somewhere between 30% more productive and maybe twice as productive. That allows us to do a lot more.
Does that mean you do more or you have less people?
We will do more because we're really efficient. We have great people, and we're already very profitable. I mean, we're one of the most profitable companies in Silicon Valley. Last year, we did $3.5 billion free cash flow. For every dollar we earn, we made more than 40 cents in free cash flow. That is one of the highest in Silicon Valley. What we really want now is growth. We want more and more growth. So we're going to keep the same amount of people, and hopefully they can ship more. Right. We are not limited by cash. We have $10 billion in the bank. What we're limited by is our ability to build products and great software. So that's number 1. Number 2, customer service. I would argue Airbnb is one of the hardest customer service problems in the world. We have 2 different people from 2 different countries living together, as many as 4 million times a night.
Different languages, possibly.
Different languages, and think of all the issues. It's not like Zappos or Amazon. The package didn't come, it came late, or I need a refund. There are so many different issues. We have 70 different user policies. Some of these policies are as many as 100 pages long. So imagine you're a customer service agent, you were just hired, and then suddenly 2 angry people are calling you between 2 different languages, and you're adjudicating one of 70 policies that could be thousands of pages long between all the options. AI can augment and do much better decision making, and the human should supervise it.
Right.
The third thing is matching. We're not really a search business, we're really a matching business. Nobody goes to the 3rd page of Google. The 3rd page of Google is not relevant. The 3rd page of Airbnb results in Paris are relevant because we can't possibly guess what the right home for you is. So the more we can learn about you, the more we can match you the thing you want. And this leads to the long-term vision of AI. I think, Sam Altman, good friend of mine, he's building what I would call the base model.
Right.
I would think of this like a highway. Sam is building the highway. We're going to build the car on the highway, which means we're going to build the layer of tuning of all the data on top of it. If you and I ask ChatGPT a question, we get the same answer. In the future, AI is going to give different answers to different people if they know about you. And so we want to be the most personalized interface for AI and the internet. We learn about you, we care about you, we ask the answer, who are you, what do you want? And we can match you to anything you want. And ultimately, what I think we're building isn't a travel service, it's really a travel community.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, And then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.